The new year is upon us. Let's discuss some of my goals. Hello guys, so at the time of recording this is December 31st. It is currently about 5:30, so I'm recording this very last minute. I don't know whether this video will go up on the 31st or the 1st. Either way, Happy New Year to you guys, wherever you live in the world. This video is just going to be discussing my goals for 2019. Now, I could call them New Year's resolutions, but I personally have the feeling of resolutions being more set in stone sort of rules to follow, whereas I've always seen goals a little bit more flexible to achieve. Just a little bit before we discuss my goals for 2019, I just want to say quickly about this artwork. Originally this video was actually going to have the scrawler box from December 2018 in the background. However, I decided not to do that. It's because I recorded it, but the result was awful because the supplies are not art supplies. So what I decided to do was take the theme from the scrawler box and do something to that theme with my own art supplies that I just wanted to do. The picture is of my character Rocco in a pastel AU. He's got his flower crown and just a pink jumper, and oh my god, he looks adorable. That scrawler box theme was pastel petals, so I thought Rocco in his pastel getup was definitely something that I wanted to do for this. Now, getting into my goals for 2019, I've actually kind of split it up into certain sections. So I have major goals and minor goals. Now, these two sets of goals are actually kind of interlinked to each other, but at the same time are quite separate. Major goals I would consider big milestones, whereas minor goals are still valid goals, but they are on a smaller scale and can be more consecutive throughout the year. I'm going to start with the major goals. So the first one on my list, even though there's no real particular order to them, is starting commissions. Now, when it comes to starting commissions, I have always kind of chickened out, or I've always had something else going on in the background. So for the last few years I've had university and I've always been too busy with that kind of workload on my shoulders all the time. Some people might actually respond to this and say, you finished university this year, you had nothing holding you back, why didn't you start commissions then? Well, I think it was the fear of starting something new. There's always the fear of the unknown, and the fear of the unknown is definitely something that has stopped me from doing so many things I want to do in the past. But 2019, I am determined to get them set up. One of the reasons being I don't currently have a job, so it would definitely help bring in some income, if you know what I mean. My YouTube channel does bring in some AdSense, but it doesn't bring in a lot and very often either, so it's definitely something that I would need to start. The second major goal of 2019 is to do a convention. When I say this, I mean do an artist alley of a convention. Now, funnily enough, I already have a convention in mind, which will be my first convention if it goes ahead, and I already have some art friends that I can do it with, which is really good. I've already met up with them, I know them in person, and we're going to be sharing tables. This convention is also in my university town, so it's my first convention on familiar ground with friends that I've met from this community in real life. The foundations towards this goal were made in 2018. Hopefully in 2019, I can actually claim to have done my first convention in an artist alley. Something else that I want to do is actually set up my online store. I do have a Redbubble, but I keep forgetting to update it very often. Updating my Redbubble is going to be one, and also two would be to set up an online store for art that I've already done in videos, and also for fun. If I want to sell them, I can. I know there's been quite a few people in the past comment, when are you going to sell original work, or do you do commissions? There's been a lot of questions about that, so hopefully this year I will get it all sorted out. The third major goal is more or less a very optional one. It's going to be incredibly flexible and could change. So this goal is to start up a Patreon. In terms of Patreon, I have actually had an account for a couple of years now, but I've never been sure exactly what to do with it. Now, I do have a little bit of an idea, kind of what I want to do, but I haven't fully fleshed it out yet. It's to do with my OC universe, because my OC universe is this huge universe with lots of different characters, and they all have their own stories. So there is potential for illustrated stories or comics or whatever. There is potential there. Not to mention the Patreon would support my content, since I draw a lot of my characters on my videos anyway, so it would definitely help towards everything. I'm calling this a flexible goal because it's definitely something that I could do steps towards this year. However, whether I'll start it up officially this year, it might be a little bit too ambitious. So I'll try to at least lay the foundations this year, kind of like how I did with the convention stuff. The last major goal kind of bleeds into the minor goals, so that's why I've left it until last. This year, I really want to work on my portfolio. So in my portfolio, I want lots of different kinds of art just to show off what I can do, be it traditional, digital work, just a mixture of all the work that I can do. And part of me working on my portfolio this year will go towards the fact that I would like to get myself a job, preferably a creative one if I can. But first, I really need a portfolio, so it's definitely something I need to work on, especially with all these next few things that I'm going to be mentioning, which are my minor goals. So the mini art goals, or the minor art goals as I've been calling them, they are inside of the portfolio for the most part. The first thing that I've written on my list of stuff to talk about is composition. Composition was something I didn't really struggle too much with in university, and I've noticed that ever since I left university, the compositions of my work have been hit or miss. Some have been a real big success, and then there's others that have failed dramatically. I know I keep mentioning university a lot, but it's been my last 3 years, so it's what I'm used to. But in university, I would typically sketch about 4 separate compositions and would choose the best of the bunch. Now, I just sketch one thing and then just choose that one thing because it's the only thing I've got. I need to get back that mentality of I need multiple compositions so I can choose, and then say if the other compositions are good as well, then they could be images too. And I think this is also a problem that a lot of other artists face. They become complacent and a little lazy in the way that they sketch, and that's me after university. Should I be admitting this on my commentary? Probably not, but at the same time, I think it holds me accountable for hopefully trying to improve my content and my artwork overall over the course of 2019, as well as my work ethic. The next minor goal is proportion. Now, everybody knew this one was coming. Something about proportion and anatomy. Yeah, that is definitely something that is not just on my list, but on a lot of other artists' lists this year. A way I want to improve on this is that at least once a month, I want to go out and do a day of location drawing. Now, obviously, if I get a job, this won't be possible, but I at least want to go out and draw from life. I don't know if this is kind of related, but I've been watching videos of people watercolor painting in coffee shops or like just cafes, and I want to do that. It's something that I would really want to have a go at doing. It also could encourage some connections in my life as well, so maybe people can hook me up with people who would want commissions and stuff like that in real life. and not just over the internet. Not saying that that's definitely going to happen, but it could encourage that. Relating to location drawing, I also want to just draw things, or at least learn to draw things. For example, stuff like flowers. You wouldn't think that was something you would want to learn to draw, but it is, and knowing how to draw those things makes it easier to put it into your compositions, and just overall just makes your art a lot better and easier to do. But this doesn't just stand for stuff like flowers, it also stands for animals as well, because I'm terrible at drawing animals. Maybe a trip to the zoo is in order, or maybe just drawing animals like stray cats, or like people walking their dog. I don't know, something. Then there's also vehicles as well. I could go out and draw some cars, or some trains, buses. I could even go down to my local steam railway and actually draw some steam engines when they have them out. My main point is that I want to have more practice in the stuff I want to learn how to draw, so it'll be easier to add them into my compositions and characterize them in my own personal style. I've noticed over the last few years that I've always tried to run before I could walk, and I think that this year it will be taking a step back and actually learning to walk before I can run, if that makes sense. It's kind of like the saying they have with anatomy, you don't go and characterize it before you know the basics. I think this is a good one to end on with my goals or resolutions, whatever you decide to class them as. This is something that I haven't really set as a goal in the past, and I should really be setting as a goal, and it's to spend more time every day drawing. Now, I've kind of said in my notes that I would like to spend at least 15 to 30 minutes drawing. Now, obviously that can be more, but I want to at least spend within that time frame every day during 2019. Spending 15 minutes a day, which is the bare minimum, would equal 105 minutes over the course of a week. 105 minutes is not even 2 hours, because 2 hours is 120 minutes. Now, if we were to times 105 by 52, which is the amount of weeks in a year, we would get 5,460 minutes, which is 91 hours over the course of a year. And for those who don't know, 91 hours is just less than 4 days. Considering there's 365 days in a year, to spend almost 4 days straight drawing during that year doesn't sound like a bad deal. And remember, that's only the bare minimum of what I want to spend drawing. I probably just bored everybody half to death with those numbers, but I just wanted to make a point of the fact that time that you can put away every single day for something does add up and can actually help you improve as an artist. With that being said, this video is wrapping up. I just want to ask you guys the question, what is your resolution? Or do you have multiple goals that you want to complete like I do? Comment down below if you want to share those goals with me, because I'd love to hear them. If you like that video, you can click the like button, and if you're new or haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and then that notification bell for notifications for every time I upload. Hopefully YouTube will actually work this year, but we live in hope. Or is the phrase, we live and dream. Either way, YouTube has always been at least a little bit broken. But I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!